What's up, guys? Zarek here, Underdogs of Addiction. In this video, I wanted to talk about, why, more or less, what cocaine did for me. Why did I use it so much? Why something that I hadn't tried until I was 28 years old took a hold of me, and I want to talk about kind of like the relationships that were developed in my use, people who I thought really were my friends. Basically, so the story goes back to when I was 28. I would throw these really big parties at a warehouse, and there was like drum sets and speakers. It was like a music studio kind of thing. And I throw these after hours parties. But of course, the only people that are going to come to after hours parties are people that do cocaine. And so I was quickly introduced to it. I saw that people were doing it and it wasn't that scary and people were having fun. So I was like, let's do it. And I came addicted to it because I love to be social and be around people. So I thought, because I always felt super alone inside. And the cocaine life made me feel like I had all these friends because it was like a secret society, because the people who did coke, we all knew each other. And we didn't want anyone else to know that we did it. We would just hang around each other, which is a dangerous recipe, the blind leading the blind. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't have some momentary fun in those times, because I definitely did. And I did connect with a couple people, but nowhere nearly as close as I connect with people now. It was very surface level. Some people would talk about their life problems and stuff like that, but you're so numb inside when you're on those drugs that like you really don't take much of it back into your heart. And so I got stuck in that cycle, and when I'm realizing it was that core loneliness. I wanted to be around people. I thought these people cared about me, were my friends. And so the dopamine hit I would get from coke made me feel happy, because I already had a dopamine deficit from having ADHD. So that was one big thing. I'd hit that line and I would feel like supercharged and confident and happy for a moment, and hit another one until you're on a bender, the sun's coming up, and you're walking to the corner store to try to get cigarettes and beer, looking like a fucking mad person. And that was a lot of my weekends for the last 4 years, with brief periods of sobriety. But that's what cocaine did for me. It was a community. Sadly, it's like crazy to say that, but like doing coke, it was like a little community within a community for me. And as much as I don't like to admit it, is I would have other shit going on, but I was always looking forward to the weekend, so I could go buy a fucking fresh little Pearly Graham and thinking, and then I got obsessed with the process of getting it, the secretiveness of having these dealers, and like being the dude who shows up at the party because he bought extra stuff. And I got caught up in that. And I met a bunch of different girls doing it. I mean, I had some crazy times, and at the time they were fun, but what I had to pay to have those momentarily fun times was twofold of what I had to what I gave. When you do the drug, like it feels good, you're great in the moment, and then you have to pay back 2-3 times. You have to pay for that shit. And it just got to the point after doing coke for 5 years that I couldn't, I wasn't willing to pay that price anymore. I couldn't. I got to the point where I was selling it. I wasn't even getting the highs that I used to. There'd been multiple times where I did too much, and I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, which who knows if I was. Could have been anxiety with fentanyl going around. I mean, it's just it could be a moment away from dying just from doing something that was cut. And I just got to a point where it was not fun anymore, and I had to get to the point where I just, it was not fun. It's like Richard Pryor says, it starts fun and then it ends bad, and I had to take it all the way down. And luckily I didn't end up in prison, dead, or in jail, and I got a chance to go to treatment. But where I'm getting at is those are the reasons. Us as addicts usually have, our brains are wired in different ways from things we experience as children, most likely. And our brains don't produce a normal amount of dopamine. And so when we try a stimulant, we fucking love it. So that was one factor. And then the second factor was that cocaine gave me a community. You know, it was a purpose. Like, hey, we're all gonna hang out tonight, and we're gonna put money together, and we're gonna get a bunch of blow, and we're gonna chase down more blow. And then it was just like always chasing it down. And sadly, it gave me like a reason. It was like exciting, you know. And then when I got into dealing it, I mean, it was a whole nother level of addiction. And I just knew I needed to get out before I got in too deep. So I just wanted to share this video, my story of cocaine addiction and why I chose that drug and got hooked on it. Please leave your comments below on how it was for you, and yeah, thank you.